Uh, I have been in contact with the Huntsville Police Department relative to Amy Bishop. Back in 1986, December 6th of 1986, we had a shooting at her home. She had fled the home and was taken at gunpoint by officers of this department. She was brought into the police station under arrest. Subsequently, during the booking process, she was released by orders of the former police chief. So no charges were ever filed against Amy Bishop. The Huntsville PD asked us if we could send down a report regarding that incident. We have a day log that demonstrates that the incident did occur. However, in checking our archive files, the report is missing. Speaking with the officer who wrote the report this morning, he informed me that my predecessor back in 1988 was looking for the report and it was missing from the file at that time. We have confirmation from one of our lieutenants who was a high school classmate of Amy Bishop, giving positive identification that it is the same person. The incident that occurred in 1986, basically the facts that I received from my officer who was on scene, Amy Bishop had fired a shotgun round in her bedroom, subsequently had a fight with her brother. She shot her brother in the chest, fled the home. Prior to fleeing the home, she fired one more round from the shotgun. She fled down the street, pointed the weapon at a vehicle, tried to get that person to stop. The person drove by, and subsequently our officers found her and arrested her at that time by gunpoint. They removed the shotgun from her and she was brought into the police station. And as I stated earlier, she was released without any charges being filed against her.
Why does this differ so drastically from the story that we have at the time? It says that she was in her house, she was asking how to unload the shotgun, and it discharged. And at that point, kind of the narrative ends. Her brother was hit, he was taken to the hospital. There's absolutely no mention of any of this sort of wild scene that you're talking about, where she shoots it, she has an argument, shoots her brother, runs from the house, points the gun at a car, and I mean that's very different from what we had before we walked in here. What is this? What is it? Why?
It is a far different story, I believe, that was reported back then. I cannot tell you what the thought process was behind releasing her at the time. I did speak with a retired police deputy who currently lives out of state. I contacted him this morning. He was the lieutenant doing the booking process when he received a phone call from the former police chief informing him that she was to be released.
The police chief at the time?
Yes.
What was his name, sir?
John Polio.
Did he have some sort of relation to the family? I mean, was there some reason that he would call up in the middle of a murder investigation and say release the suspect?
It's my recollection that Amy Bishop's mother was a public official serving on a board here in the community.
What board was that, sir? Do you know?
I believe it was the personnel board at the time.
Are you planning to reopen the investigation in light of what's happened in Alabama?
Well, the Alabama Police Department is supposed to get back to us in the next day or so. We have no reports on the incident, other than a mention in the day log that there was an accidental shooting. Every officer that was working that particular shift has retired, with the exception of one. And he was the one who gave me the information, as he recalled it, the 3 rounds being off. When they took the shotgun away from her, there was still a round in the chamber. There was one more round in the chamber.
What does a situation like this look like to you?
I don't want to use the word cover-up. I don't know what the thought process was of the police chief at the time. Certainly, I would hope, and I try to confirm this with the retired police deputy, if the police chief at the time spoke with the district attorney, following that decision. It's my understanding, in speaking to one of the other officer who was not working at the time, but he happened to be in the police station, that the detective bureau was called in, and all of them were released and just went home.
The detectives were released.
Our detectives were released. And it's also our understanding that the state police were not asked to be at the police station on that particular date.
And the state police were doing investigation. They had the CPAC unit then that did death investigations at the
I
time?
cannot confirm that. The normal protocol is the district attorney's office is notified, and the state police assist the local departments with all shooting deaths. I can tell you it reflects poorly, I believe, on the department at that time.
Right. Are you at all troubled by what you saw today, what you kind of uncovered, the missing police report and the circumstances that
Yes.
you've seen?
Yes. What we can do is reach out to the district attorney and ask him if he can assist us with an investigation.
Was the district attorney at the time William Delahunt?
Yes, it was. The current members of this department have pretty much no documentation other than a copy of the day log, which shows that the shooting occurred at the home of this person. The name is omitted from the day log as well, but the address is there, and the officers do recall the incident. 46 Hollis Avenue.
What do you say to any residents that kind of will see this and think, you know, I guess, if you could talk to the point of, you know, them wondering if stuff like this is this a pattern or?
This would not happen in this day and age, I can tell you that. I recall at that time, members of this police department were extremely upset following those days. That was a rough December for this department, as we had three shooting deaths, 3 shootings, 2 which resulted in the death of 2 individuals. I can tell you that the members of the department were not happy with the turn of events that occurred, but that was a decision by the then police chief, and I'm sure there was some type of discussion with the district attorney.
Fair to say the story that was fed to the papers in '86 was fabricated?
I would have to see the story again, but from what I'm hearing, it was not accurate.